Welcome back. My children pointed out to me a day or so ago that there's yet another new bot on chess.com, and I'm going to try to play it and see what happens. Let's just go. There used to be 5 cat bots just a couple of days ago. Now there's only 3 cat bots. And the first one in that row is not a cat, as far as I can tell. It is a M3GAN, which I believe is supposed to be pronounced M3GAN, but I'm old-fashioned, and that's not an E, that's a 3. But anyway, that's what you get when you put this sort of thing in front of an old person. But anyway, it said M3GAN heard Scaredy Cat and Angry Cat were your opponents, so she took care of them. So Scaredy Cat and Angry Cat, which were 2 of the cat bots that I played, are gone now. Now there's still Mr. Grumpers, which I defeated, and there's Katsparov, which I first lost to and then won the rematch. And of course there is still Mittens, whom I have not played yet. But M3GAN, I think, or M3GAN, is based on a movie, maybe? I think I saw an ad for a movie that was something like. But anyway, I'm going to play it without any further chit-chat. It's rated 1050, this bot. I usually beat bots rated 1050, but sometimes I have trouble with them. So let's get in the right frame of mind here. I'm going to follow opening principles. I'm going to try to watch out for blunders, and hopefully we can win this. I have been given the black pieces, which I think is the 5th time in a row. I'm all odds and ends right now. I'd really rather you didn't see me like this, according to the bot's chat up there. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. Well, I'm not going to do any shooting today. That's my plan. And we are going to play the Caro-Kann defense, just like we got against the cat bots. We are going to get the advanced variation, which is the one I struggle with the most. I'm going to follow Gotham Chess's advice and play c5, which attacks this pawn. Okay, they've defended that pawn with the knight to f3. I believe here I can pin that knight with bishop to g4, which I will play. That pawn was taken. Well, I don't remember now if I take this knight and then play e6, because when I take the knight, I'm pretty sure they'll take back with the queen. And then when I play e6, that opens up an attack on this pawn with my bishop. But then they could defend that pawn in a number of ways, by getting out the other bishop, by playing b4, or by moving the queen somewhere, I suppose. Or do I just play e6 now? Or knight to c6? Let's play knight to c6. I really don't know, honestly. I'm out of prep already. Okay, well, now my knight is pinned. Do I immediately challenge this bishop, or do I check here? I think I check here, don't I? I don't know. Let's check. That might be a mistake. They can just block with the pawn, or the knight. Oh, if they blocked with the pawn or the bishop, I would just win their bishop. But here they have protected the bishop and blocked the check at the same time. Then do I challenge the bishop, or do I play e6? I'm going to play e6 and see what happens. That's threatening the c pawn now. Okay, they've castled, so I can win that c pawn finally, but I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to do just yet. But I'm going to, because I'm a pawn down. I also don't know if the bot has blundered. Okay, that I'm pretty sure is a transparent attempt to push this pawn, but I think I could just take it since my queen is there. I really don't know. I know I can push this pawn here to threaten that knight, which is the only thing protecting this bishop. Or I can get this knight out and prepare to castle. That's what I want to do right now, I think. They're really getting ready for this right now, so I'm going to have to look out for that. I'm going to lose a piece if I'm not careful. Let's see. If they play, because this knight is still pinned, so if they play b4 now, if I take, they would take, and then I couldn't take back, and I would have lost a bishop for a pawn. So I need to get the queen out of there, which I think I want to do here to c7, and then if they still play b4, then I can get my bishop out, I think. But I'm starting to get locked up over there. Let's do that, just so we don't lose a piece here. Okay, they did play that. I could slide it forward rather than back. What's the downside of coming back? Is there one? The knight could come in and challenge it, but then I could always go back to here anyway. But I like that spot. It attacks this pawn. Let's try that. Okay, well, it appears I have blundered. I just gave up the knight. I mean the bishop for free. Wow. All right. Well, I might lose to this 1050 bot. We're about to find out. I'm going to castle here and then take their queen. They didn't move their queen. So the bot has blundered in return, and that was fairly easy to take advantage of. Now I'm up 3 points of material. Wait, because I gave up a piece and then gave up another piece for their queen. So I'm only up 3 points of material. Let's get that bishop out of there. Okay, there it goes. This pawn is currently defended, but I think I can override that defense by putting my knight on c6, which not only aims at this undefended bishop, but aims at this pawn. Okay, they're threatening the rook, which again is a fairly simple matter to address by just moving the rook. And I think I'll put it here on a light square. And then once I get rid of their e-pawn, then I can start advancing my e-pawn, I think. So let's take that pawn. Let's see, is that the right thing to do? I think it is. It's just a free pawn. Wait, where's that knight going? It went back. Is it trying to Is it trying to redirect here or here? I'm not sure. Let's just take the pawn. Okay. Lots of bishops pointing down this way. Not too worried about it just yet. This pawn is also undefended. So I'm going to take that pawn with check. Right, it is undefended, correct? Okay, because I messed up on a couple of puzzles recently and thought a pawn was undefended when it was not. Okay, I'm going to take that pawn with check, and then after the king moves out of check, I will just trade my knight for that bishop. That's my plan. Or, when the king moves out of check, I could fork the rooks. What about that? Should I fork the rooks, or should I just... Yeah, because that's just an even trade there. I think I should just win a rook this way. I didn't even see that when I went in there for the check. Okay, now this does look dangerous. And I kind of walked into that by forking the rooks, didn't I? Okay. Let's, I think we can undanger that by just pushing this pawn. Undanger? That's not a word. I just said that for no reason. Okay. Now see if they're going to move the other rook. They did. Okay. Well, I put my knight there, didn't I? All right. Well, I can go back to my original plan of trading off for their dark squared bishop by threatening that rook and then taking the dark squared bishop. Yeah, let's do that. See what they do. Okay. I'm going to trade off for the dark squared bishop. Hopefully assumably, yeah, they'll take with their knight. Okay, that makes sense. Let's see, I can push this pawn. Where can that knight go for? Oh, once I push the pawn, the knight can get even closer over here to f5. But I don't know that it can do... Yeah, because then the knight and the rook are both pointed here at the g-pawn. I guess then I could push the g-pawn. But what is... Because I have a 5-point material advantage here, and I'm struggling to actually use that. Let's do that and see what happens. I think the knight's going to go to f5. It didn't. It went the other way. Okay, from there... can come in here, I guess. That's not terribly dangerous. I mean, it would be defended in both of those spots by the b-pawn, but wouldn't be in a terrible lot of danger at that point. One thing I see is that I can get rid of this bishop here. Not get rid of it, but make it move, which it would have to go back. If I play e4, the light squared bishop then has to move, and it's the only thing defending this pawn. Let's try that. I know that's a little two-move sequence, but it didn't do that. It just gave me the bishop. All right, let's take the bishop with the pawn. And now this pawn is defended. So the bot, I guess, did see that I was aiming at that pawn and trying to remove its defender. And it defended the pawn again, but it gave up a bishop in so doing. I think we should check with this rook right here, shouldn't we? Let's see, what happens if I check? The king is just going to go there. I'm pretty sure. If it blocks, I will trade. I will trade off those two rooks. But I don't think it'll block. I think if I check on e1, the king will go to g2, and then what would I do? Then I don't know what I would do then. So maybe that's not the best idea. Maybe there is something else. That knight can still go in here, but if it does, I will just push my g-pawn. Or should I push the g-pawn now? Probably not. I'd like to push my d pawn because I would want my queen on this diagonal so that when I put my rook down there, it would be mate or close to mate. That's what I would like. And let's see, in order to do that, I think, well, let's play a5 now. That way I would have a relatively safe square to move my queen to in the event of something like that. Let's do that. Oh, the king just went ahead and moved there. We saw that in a bot game very recently. In one of my recent videos, I had an opportunity to check, and I thought the king would just go. And then the king did that anyway when I decided not to check. That's weird. It just happened. Again, okay. Well, I'm prepared to do this if I ever get to move my d-pawn. But I can't move my d-pawn right now, so... But I don't want to put the queen there now, do I? Let's see, does that allow anything? I don't think it does. It's still protecting this from the knight. The rook is still protecting this from the knight. Okay. Or what about putting my rook over here first and then putting the queen over? That way my rook will continue patrolling that semi-open file. There's only one completely open file on the board and I have control of it. So let me get control of the semi-open file. Then I'm going to move my queen onto the same diagonal as M3GAN's king, I think. Actually, I don't know if that's a good idea, but I touch moved my queen, didn't I? I should probably move it just for... Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And then I can probably get the knight out of the way of that pawn. Oh, it went to defend that pawn. I'm not actually after that pawn right now because the knight's guarding it. But maybe they're planning on moving the knight. So they guarded it in advance. If so, that's a pretty smart move. Because I was, in my brain, I was about to say, I want to put my rook on c4. And I would be, because I'm up 7 points of material, I'd be willing to sacrifice the exchange, go down the exchange, the rook for the knight, to allow me to move the d-pawn. So maybe it was planning on moving the knight at this point. I don't know where exactly, and then it would still be defending that pawn. Very interesting. Okay. And from there, the knight can hit this spot, which would fork all of these big, powerful pieces that I have. So I have to be very careful. Let's say if I go there and they go there, well, then I'm going to push this d-pawn and it's going to be check. And then we'll have a different set of circumstances. And then I won't worry about the fork. Maybe. I don't know. It would still be forking all three of my pieces, even if my rook was up there. So maybe I want to guard against that first by going ahead and playing the g-pawn now. Let's do that so I don't have to worry about that nasty fork. There's nowhere else they can do it, but right there they can. And they can get to it in 2 moves. So let's play g3, g6 now. Oh, they played there anyway. Oh, because that pawn is pinned. Oh my. Wow. Well, I definitely need some practice. Most of you probably already saw that the pawn was pinned. And so I'm not really defending against this fork. Well, I can go back to my original plan of pushing this pawn and it would be check. But then what? Let's see, check. The king has 1, 2, 3 ways out of check. Now, if the king went here to f1, trying to prevent my rook from coming down to e1, then I could put my queen in the corner, but then they would block with the rook. Then I would take this pawn and the check. Okay, so that's what would happen if the king went to f1. If the king went to g1, I would then check with this rook. And the king would have to go there, and I would have mate in the corner with my queen. Okay. If the king went to whatever square that is, h2, which is, I'm guessing that's what it will do, is because I'm still in danger of this fork. Let's see what happens then. If I move the pawn to d4, and that's check, the king goes to h2, well, then I would need to move my queen here to protect against the fork. Let's do that. Okay, there was one possibility I forgot to consider. I did consider this. I didn't say anything, but I thought maybe they could block that with the rook, but instead they blocked with the pawn. Okay, that's fine, because I'm going to put my queen here, which not only threatens the knight, but prevents the nasty fork that I was talking about. No, that puts my queen in danger. Wow. Okay. If I play here, they're going to take this pawn with the rook protected by the knight. Oh no, then I would win the knight. Okay, then I think that's all right then. Wait, they just gave me the knight, right? And allowed this check. I'm going to take the knight. Okay. And then I'm going to check on the back rank. And then I'm going to check over here. And it has to block with the rook. And then I will take the rook. And that's mate. Okay. Well, as you saw, I had several lapses of judgment in that game, but the bot made sure to blunder away any advantage that it had. So, but I did beat the M3GAN, or otherwise known as M3GAN bot. I'm going to save this game to my archive. And I'm going to click game review, and then I will pause the video. Okay, the game review has finished running. It didn't take that long this time. I said I played fairly well, 82.5% accuracy, but I do, hidden slightly behind my camera view, I did have 2 blunders, and you can see from the graph at the upper right that there was a point not long after the opening, or maybe possibly still during the opening, in which I gave the bot a big advantage, and it then gave it back to me, and I think we remember where that was. My first blunder was playing bishop to d4, and I do remember that because the bot just took my bishop because my knight is pinned, and for some reason I just plain didn't see the queen aiming there, and that is where the bot did take advantage. Played that. That says it wasn't even its best move, which is interesting to me. Let's go to the analysis board and see what it says was the best move. It says their actual best move in this position is to take this knight, according to the lines, which I would then have to take back with either my queen or my pawn or the other knight. I could take back 3 ways, and then the queen would take this. Okay, but it was the second best move to take that. Okay, so back to the review. The bot did take the bishop and is now threatening this bishop. So I don't know, was it my best move to take the knight right there? Yeah, my best move is to take the knight right here. Not by far, but my second best move was to get this bishop out of danger. But I took the knight, which was my best move. And then back to the review. It says I blundered again here not before too long. But the bot took back, which was its best move. And then I castled, which was my best move. But the bot still has the advantage because it just went up a full bishop. But now that I've castled, this is where it should have moved its queen out of the way. And it didn't. Yeah, it blundered there. And I took the queen, which it called a great move. It was the obvious move based on that blunder. Okay, I'm going to go into my next blunder. My next blunder came right after this. I had just checked. Oh, I think my blunder was trying to fork the rooks. I'm just going to guess that's what it was. Should I have taken the bishop? Yeah. I still had an advantage, according to Stockfish here. If we go to the analysis. Oh, no. I had mate. Oh, no. Oh, wow. Did any of you see that during the game? I don't mean right now. I had checkmate in 1. When the king should have come forward, because then if I had checked, it would have won the knight. But it didn't come forward. It went to the corner, and I had mate right there on move 20. It would have been move 20, and I would have checkmated. And my second best move here, let's see, my second best move is e5. Well, I didn't play that either. My third best move is g5. I played there. Wow. I went to fork the rooks. I wonder how bad would it have been. Let's see, can I turn off all those things? Okay, so I had a mate in 1 here and I didn't take it. What would have been taking the bishop? How bad would that have been? I still would have been up +7 or so. And I assume the knight would have taken back? Yes. Okay. Now, so how bad did it go when I tried to fork the rooks? It was also +7. Okay, so it was slightly better. -8. It was -8 to try to fork the rooks, even though it failed, and even though it wasn't my best move, it was slightly better than the other move I was considering. Because obviously I wasn't considering the checkmate. Wow, I missed mate in 1. But yeah, so that was my original plan when I moved the knight in there, but it turned out to be slightly better to try to fork the rooks. Okay. Well, we learned something. We learned that I'm still missing mates in 1, just out of the blue, because I was going after a little tactical sequence here and thought I was pretty proud of myself for finding it and just clean missed the mate in 1. Okay, well, that is an embarrassment a little bit, but it's no surprise if you've been watching this channel for some time. Thank you, by the way, to those of you who have been watching for some time. Thank you if this is your first time, and we'll see you next time.